I got you, yeah. I will defend my brothers, I will defend the weak. I will pursue and fight evil so others may sleep. I am the sheepdog, protecting the night. Wolf hunters unite, bring it on, it's time to fight. As that alarm clock beeps and wakes you from your sleep, pull back the sheets, it's time to hit the streets. Dudes, fresh shave your face, girls put up your hair. Back breaking and aching from the equipment that you wear. Face to face with your locker, strapping on your vest. Pray to God it'll block a hollow point from your chest. Join up with the squad, that's the crew of the night. Here again, our evil man took another life. Got a price on your head, brother, better be ready.
Hello YouTube, and welcome to another tutorial by Officer Haileykins. Today we're going to be looking at how to create and customize vehicle livery. This is something that you might want to do if you want to change a small thing about a livery, or if you want to completely create your own custom livery. I typically find that I don't have a livery for all the things that I need. And one of the ones that I'm actually really needing in my game is a proper animal control vehicle. So I've downloaded an F350 that's for roadside assistance. We're going to make a livery for it to make it into an animal control vehicle. And I'm going to walk you through the process of how to do this. I have also converted this vehicle from a replace vehicle to an add-on vehicle. I may or may not have a video on that later on, but I will definitely let you guys know if I'm going to do a video on that. I thought about it before and I have decided against it just because it's a rather simplistic process. So maybe I'll just link the add-on vehicle creator down below in the description. With that being said, guys, we have our template right here. This is our F350 template. This is already in .dds format, so that's great. To actually create your liveries, you're going to need some kind of more advanced photo editor than just Paint. I use paint.net because it has DDS support naturally. GIMP also has DDS support naturally. Adobe Photoshop does not. The newer versions of Adobe Photoshop do not natively support DDS. So if you have Photoshop and it's a relatively new version, I think after 2015, you do not natively have DDS support, I suggest downloading paint.net. It's free, it's easy, it's all you need. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and open up the F350 template and get started here. So this is our template. As you can see, we even have a spot down here to put a rear license plate, which I don't actually have a license plate to use. I didn't download a license plate. But I do have the images I will most likely use for my animal control vehicle. So the first thing I want to do is we're going to come down here. We're going to see our layers menu, okay? We're going to go down and we're going to find add new layer, and we're going to click on that. I'm going to rename this and call it base. Okay? Now, if you want to be able to change the color of the vehicle in game, then do not add a color to your base layer. Otherwise, you will be unable to change the color because the livery is forcing the color. I do not care about this though. I am going to make this vehicle 100% white. And we're going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to grab my paint bucket. I'm going to set my primary to white by left clicking the white square down here. And then we're just going to paint the entire canvas white. Now, obviously, we can't see the template for our vehicle. We're going to go ahead and hide the base. So it's still here, but now we can see our vehicle once again. And we can use this now to add images or text or other things into our game, I am going to create a layer from a file, and I think that we're going to use this one right here. So this is my animal control badge that I found online. I don't know if this is copyrighted or not. If it is, and the owner happens to watch this, I do apologize. I'm not the best at finding non-copyright material when it comes to imagery online. And we're going to put this on the truck where we think it would look good. I think it would look amazing right here in a scaled down format. There we go. Now, the one thing that I struggle with, and you might as well, is lining things up. So this is on the same, well, matches this. That is my biggest struggle. What I try to do is I find a common point, since these are grids. So we're going to go right here and put it right in the corner of the second square in from the wheel well. Go ahead and do that over here again. Maybe the second square over in the wheel well. And I'm going to rename this to logo. Oops. Did not name that correctly. I'm going to rename this to logo. I'm also going to come up here and copy the logo and then paste it, because I don't want to have a bunch of layers for the same image. You can create multiple layers for the same image if you want to. I don't find it necessary, so I just prefer not to do it. We're going to drag this into the corner to match. And we're going to take a quick peek at it. That distancing looks a little bit off. Okay, we're going to come in here and try that. Go over one more. Try that. We definitely have more to go over with here. Okay, I like that distancing. That seems a little bit more accurate to me. And I think that's what we're going to go with here. So with that being said, I mean, we're essentially done. If I throw my layer back on here, this is what it's going to look like. The vehicle will be completely white with these animal control images on the rear of it. Of course, having it just on the side is not entirely useful. So I'm going to go ahead and add some text to the back tailgate of this vehicle. We're going to come up here to our text box. And I'm going to choose a different font. I want something a little bit more official, like Impact. Impact is the font that I will typically use for most things. And we don't want it to be white. That's the fact. So we'll go animal. If I could spell, and that would be a miracle. Go ahead and just put animal control on the back of it right here. That looks pretty centered to me. Couldn't really ask for much better than that, considering my inability to do anything with photographs on a computer. But it looks pretty good. I don't see any issues here with this. I think this is what we're going to use. I am going to put a blue square over the license plate, however, just so we know that it's there. Let me make a new layer for this. We'll call this plate. To get that menu, by the way, guys, I'm just double clicking the layer and it brings that menu right up for me. We're just going to drag right on over here, select it. Oh, I used the wrong tool. Don't worry, guys, you can trust me, I promise. I'm going to drag right over here, select it, fill it with a solid color. Oh my god, it's been a while since I've actually used this. Try this again. Nope. Okay, well, I don't know why it's not filling. Quite frankly, I don't care. Not that big of a deal. We'll just go ahead and take our paintbrush and paint blue over it. We know it's there. We don't want that. Grab the eraser, come out here, get rid of this ugly blue. To hell with it. We're just going to go ahead and go right here, go boom. Problem solved. Okay. So this is what it's going to look like when it's all said and done. And this is all we're going to see here. Bring our base back out of view. And I don't see that we have a need for anything else. We could add like a unit number up top. I don't really see a need to do that though, since this is not technically a law enforcement vehicle. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add one more thing to the rear of the vehicle. I'm going to go down to a 48 font. And we're going to get rid of that beautiful blue. We're going to type stay. And we're going to type back. Just because obviously if they're working with potentially dangerous animals, we don't want any pedestrians in the way of that possibly getting harmed. So this is where the important part comes in. Don't just file save this, throw this over a vehicle, and think you're going to be fine. Before you save this, make sure that you reveal all of your layers. Otherwise, when you load it into your game, it's going to look exactly like this. So make sure that you turn your base back on. You're going to go up to File, Save As, and you're going to save it as a DDS file. Now, mine's already in the DDS format, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm just going to save it to my desktop. I'm not going to replace that file, however. So we'll just throw this into a folder really quick. There we go. No, I don't want to replace it. Why are you saying I want to replace it? Okay. We'll just go template 1. Once you see this window, you might see a settings window, whatever program you're using to do this creation. Leave these settings alone unless you absolutely know what you're doing. There's no need to mess with these. Just go ahead and hit OK. It's going to ask if you want to flatten it. You're going to hit yes. And once you have it flattened, notice that it turns all of our work into a single layer. You can Control Z to undo that. I am going to save a paint.net version of this as well before I actually finalize and flatten. That way I can come back, work on this, edit it, modify it as I see fit. Go ahead and replace that DDS there. We'll flatten it up. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and bring our template onto our vehicles. So I'm going to open up my animal control vehicle that I've converted to a DLC vehicle. X64, levels, GTA5, vehicles, vehicles.rpf, and we're going to find the texture dictionary. So animal control YTD. Now we can actually open this up really quick and see what the vehicle looks like right now prior to our custom livery. This is the vehicle here. I've actually used that on one of my liveries before. Nice. And then we're going to go to our texture dictionary. And we're typically looking for a template right here. So this is what we're going to be replacing. And we're going to find our DDS file. We're going to rename it to match, or you could just use replace. But before you do that, make sure you're in edit mode. I forgot, so you probably didn't do it as well. Make sure you're in edit mode when you open this up, otherwise you cannot modify the textures in here. I'm going to go ahead and click on this. I'm going to hit replace up top. We're going to go to template, hit open, and that's going to replace the original template now with our custom one. Hit save. OpenIV might freeze. It might act weird for a couple of seconds. That's just because it's buggy or whatever it is. And now we can open up our animal control YFT again and see what it looks like with our skin on it. So this is what the final product here looks like. Here's the back of it. So I do need to fix the animal control, as I forgot about the tailgate, liftgate handle. So we're going to go ahead and go fix that right now. Go ahead and close this. And this is why I say to make sure you save a paint.net format one too, so you can make changes like this if there's something that you possibly overlooked. We're going to go to our logo stage. I have my paintbrush. And with paint.net, the only thing I've really seen that I don't like about it is you don't really have a way to edit text once you set it. So I just cut it, paste it again, and I'll move it over. Get rid of our base layer here really quick. And I'll do the same thing for control. Grab our square select. And slide this one over. Whoops. Square select. We will slide this one. Why does it? Oh. Maybe it's because I need to actually cut and paste. There we go. Okay. Now that that's done, we can go ahead and save the paint.net and then save this as a DDS, direct draw surface. Nope. Almost made my own mistake there. Bring that base back up. And you can save it as a direct draw surface. We'll replace template.dds. Hit OK. Hit flatten. Go back into our OpenIV and replace that texture once more. And then again, you can open that texture and see what it looks like in the back. So we're still a little bit off. Control needs to go to the right just a little bit more, it looks like. But the truck does look amazing. Officer for animal control. I do think that this could be centered in the door more. And that's the same thing on this side as well. But our alignment looks pretty accurate. They don't look like they're one's higher than the other. Nothing like that. And they're not staggered on the sides of the vehicle. Let's go ahead and fix the control. And try it again. Make sure everything's going to work here. So again, make sure you don't edit your DDS. Go in, find your paint.net. Open that up. We're going to once again go to our selection tool, select control, cut copy. Oop, I don't know. Oh, I'm on the wrong. There we go. Select control, cut paste, and bring it over just a little bit more. I think that should do it. And you'll notice too that the plate, the rear plate down here, actually does get replaced by a in-game plate. Almost did it again. Make sure you add your base back in before you hit save. So the plate does actually get replaced by a normal San Andreas plate. I don't know if that's something that just happens via the game, or if it's some way they design the vehicles. But it does do it, which makes our lives just a little bit easier. Because it would be kind of boring to spawn a vehicle and it's always the same plate. Granted, it would also be more realistic in a physical sense of that. Go ahead and open this up and check the back of it. It's not perfect, but it looks pretty good. I could just move animal a couple of notches over and it would match up again. Also, don't mind the fact, if you have not ever done this before, don't mind the fact there's only one wheel. You will have 4 wheels in the game. I don't know why it models it this way. It just does. So it looks pretty good. I think we can go into game now and make sure everything looks as good as we think it does. Okay, so we are in game, and aside from some pretty poor modeling, honestly, with this vehicle, at least in my opinion, we have a fully functioning template here. As you can see, we have our officer animal control here, as well as our animal control stay back on the rear, and again on this side. Those lines, okay. Honestly, I thought those lines might be dirt mapping, but it appears they're not. But the vehicle does look good. The headlights to me are a little wonky, especially when you have your ELSs on. Like, almost no light comes out of the actual lights on the rear bumper. It's all from behind the rear fender well. These strobes make no sense to me, but the light bar looks good, kinda. With that being said, guys, that is how you make a livery for any vehicle in GTA 5, regardless of its ELS or non-ELS status. As long as there is a template file for it and you can access the data, you can do this. You can also do this with a vehicle's regular skin. So if there's no template file, or you deleted it, you can just take the skin file that you have, for example, the one we just created, that DDS, and you can bring that into paint.net, treat that skin file as your template, if possible. Some vehicles are easier than others to do this. Or you can go online and just look up a template for the year, make, model of the vehicle that you are trying to create a livery for. With that being said, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I know I kind of rambled a bit. I tend to do that in all my tutorials. That's why I don't do them very often. But if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button. If you don't like this video, hit the thumbs down button. Let me know why in the comments, guys. Smash the subscribe button. It's always welcome. I love seeing new subscribers. I love seeing all your guys' friendly faces out there tuning in and staying active, watching my videos. hanging out with me on my live streams when I do them, which is very rare, and joining my Discord, hanging out with me, Jeffrey Gamer, Criminal Justice, and the rest of the crew. So, guys, this is how you do it. For those of you who have been wondering how to make a template, or not a template, a livery for your vehicles, this is how. It is super simple. A lot of it is just going to be Googling images online that you want to use, unless you're really crafty with digital design, or you have maybe a draw pad and you can draw your own logos and designs and styles and things of that nature to import onto your vehicles. With that being said, guys, this is Officer Haileykins. I am 1 Queen 10, 1042, 107 out of service. Good night, everybody.